here on in. I think I'm recording. Recording. All right. So that you'll have this, I'll send you the link. So, all right. If during that breath work you slid to the back of your seat and slouched, come back up to the front. Sit up nice and tall. Remember, knees over ankles, and do have your knees and toes oriented in the same direction. None of this kind of thing. You want to be really conscious about the way you sit. As you lift the crown of your head to the ceiling, I want you to notice where your head is in space. So for a lot of us, we're in this habit, right? We tend to drop the head forward, and then we need to lift the chin to kind of see where we're going, unless we're looking down at our phone or our lap. So everybody, put the palm of your hand on the top of your head, and just first sit up nice and tall. Yeah, you can kind of push the top of your head into your fingertips, and then you can slide your hand back behind the skull to the occipital ridge. That's that little bony shaped ridge at the back of the head. And then just press your head lightly into your palm, and you'll feel the head move back into space. And for a lot of this is a really useful way to find neutral. And then go ahead, put your hand in your lap. Another way you can do this is to stand at the wall and just back up and really get the sense of the plumb line of the spine, right? The head should be perched right up on top. They have a name for this now. It's called tech neck. And I know I've talked to you about this in the past. And I want to remind you that for every inch that your head is forward of that plumb line, it feels like it weighs an extra 10 pounds. So think about the stress on the muscles of the neck and the upper back. So really important to keep it neutral. And let's practice that. Everybody, bring your nose forward. Like you're in tech neck. Yeah, and don't look sideways because it feels really bad on your neck. And then go ahead, pull your head back, the back of the head back. And you can go too far and you'll feel like you're getting a double chin. And then come forward again. Notice how the spine responds. As you come forward with the head, the whole upper back curves forward. And then as you push your head back and force it, you'll feel tension probably here, but the chest pull forward. And then just find neutral. Yeah. Good. And then from that neutral place, just make itty bitty little circles with your head. So if there were a pen light shining out the crown of my head, it might make a circle the size of a quarter on the ceiling. So it's really very subtle. I want you to close your eyes and maybe feel where the sensation is. And in all likelihood, it's deep in the core of the neck. And then very slowly start to enlarge the circles. So I encourage you to go really slowly, really smoothly, to pay close attention to where the sensation is. So as the circles get bigger, you probably feel it more at the periphery. And this is where those of us with cervical spine issues can run into some problems. So if at any point there's resistance or pain, shrink the size of the circles or really slow it down. Good. And then very slowly reverse direction. So you're still making the big circles. So because I do have neck issues, the size of my circles might be much different than some of yours. And that's okay. Remember, this practice is about working with your body. There is no ideal other than to take care of oneself, to promote health and healing by simply jamming the ear to your shoulder. Doesn't mean anything but maybe the potential for pain. Shrink the size of the circles. Take your time. So once again, they're very small, and the sensation is more at the center of the neck. Very soothing, right? This gentle roll of the head. And then be still. Good. And then you can slowly drop your right ear toward your right shoulder. Good. Drop your left arm by your side. You guys all know these really well. So if your left shoulder is injured today, don't worry about lifting the arm. Just let the arm hang. All right. You'll notice that just the weight of that arm dangling is going to add a little something, right, to the upper trapezius and the scalene muscles. So you can just stay here. Make sure your head isn't coming forward, right? Remember from tech neck, that's going to round the upper back. You want to stay tall and drop the head directly over the shoulder, and you don't want it to move back either. And then on your next inhalation, just lift that left arm out to the side a little bit, or maybe as much as parallel to the floor. Now you're loading all those muscles. They're working hard to suspend your arm in mid-space. And then very slowly lower it down. So you want to use control, right? It's really different if you just flop, not what we're going for. Again, inhale, let the arm float up. And then exhale, lower it down. Yeah. Maybe it helps to visualize, a giant bird sweeping its wing out to the side. And then lower. Excellent. Good. Stay here for a moment. Everybody, turn your left thumb toward your body. Your palm is facing back. So we know this is internal rotation of that left shoulder, right? Bend the elbow. Place the back of the hand on the curve of your low back. Good. Now back up your belly. Press your low back into the back of your hand and your hand into your back. And you'll feel that dynamic action wake up that shoulder girdle, right? Some of you might want to just take your right hand and make sure the head of that arm bone is moving back, not popping forward. I hope you can see me online. And then maybe you can just do a little self-massage here in that pec minor region, because I know for me it gets really tight. Ah, so good. Yeah. And then you can put your right hand in your lap, follow it with the left hand, and slowly pick your head all the way up to vertical. Notice the difference between one side and the other. And then remember, sit up tall. Turn your head over your left shoulder. And then come back to center. Let's try the other side. Dip your left ear toward the left shoulder. Don't drop your chin. Good. Notice right away how different this side is. You can maybe tell on me. It's much harder for me to drop my head to this side. Let your right arm dangle. Yeah, and just take a moment to really let it go. You can shake it out a little if you like. Feel how the plumb line of that line, the sheer weight of the connective tissue in the bones starts to do something, lengthen those upper trapezius and scalene muscles. On your next inhale, lift your arm out, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot, just let it dangle. And then exhale slowly with control, lower the arm. Excellent. Inhale back up. Nice. So those muscles that hold tension are the brake system, right? They're preventing the arm from flopping. We want that. We want to lengthen them as they're working. Last time, inhale. Good. And let it go. Rotate your palm back. It's interesting too, some of you may notice that you feel this in interesting places, like maybe up behind where the muscles connect behind the ear, or maybe down into the shoulder. Place the back of your right hand on your low back. Pull the belly in and press your low back into your hand into the low back. So you're not forcing anything. You just want a little dynamic action to wake up the muscles. And then use your left hand to get the head of the arm bone back. Can you do all those things at once? And then maybe you can kind of dig around in here a little bit with your left fingers and find that pec minor who is just crying out for attention on most of us. Why? Because we sit like this a lot, right? It's chronically shortened. Excellent. And then you can place your left hand in your lap. Your right hand will follow. Slowly tip your head up to vertical and then over to the right. All the while, the breath is spilling in and out. Every time you get distracted, it's just another opportunity to practice being present, right? Come back to center. All right, I know you all know this one, but I think it's worth recording because we forget how effective it is. So turn your head to the left again and just notice how far you go. For a lot of us, this is a common difficulty. And then turn your head to the right. Notice how far you go. And then come back to center. All right, that oldie but goodie, grab your ears. Between your thumb and forefinger, you're going to tug a little bit and make some circles. Give those ears a nice massage. I came close so you can see how red my ears get. Don't forget to get in all the little nooks and crannies. Working around eyeglasses, piercing. Good. And then when your ears feel really warm, you're going to sit up tall, turn your head to the left. I know I got a lot more range of motion here. And then come back to center and go to the right. Good. And then come back. Excellent. Open your mouth a little bit. Just dig in at that masseter muscle. I think a lot of us with neck issues also have TMJ. So you can kind of massage wherever it feels good here. Excellent. And then you can release. Place your hands on your knees. I'll turn sideways so you can see me. And I want you to kind of rock forward to the front of your sit bones and swing your tail back a little bit. Lift your chest, lift your face, and just keep your elbows bent and soft. So you're in spinal extension right now. You're arching your back. And then go ahead and slowly roll to the back of the sit bones. You'll feel the pelvis tip back. You'll notice the tailbone sneak forward, and maybe your arms are a little straighter. Drop your chin. So now the spine is really rounded. By the way, if anyone is dealing with stenosis, this is a really good shape for you, right? That rounding. And I want you to emphasize this rather than the arching. And then just go gently, sorry, the hiccups, from one to the other. Take your time and just breathe evenly. Nobody cares how deeply you go into the pose. What you should care about is this connection with and sensitivity for whatever's showing up right now. Maybe you feel really stiff, right? This cold, damp weather. Maybe you're feeling really pretty good. Adjust accordingly. Excellent. And then sit up nice and tall. I'm going to have you heel toe your feet a little further apart. And then everybody, I know I have this big sweater on, pull your belly in really hold, like you want to have a bit of toning there as you start to bring your forearms to your thighs. Again, especially if you have stenosis, you want to bring that navel in and create a little bit of a rounding. But I want all of you to really maintain that, including sit bones connected to the seat, a little bit of a tuck, the tailbone dropping. As you come forward, maybe a little more, maybe a lot. Some of you might even be able to place your hands on the floor. It's not a contest. You just want to be able to feel a broadening in that low back area. And I want you to breathe. So I'll tell you a secret. Rather than going to the deepest point you can get to immediately, ease into it. So if you start to feel some sensation here, pause. Take a breath or two. Be patient with yourself. And then maybe slide your hands down a little lower. And then again, kind of pause and take a few breaths. And you might notice a shift. Maybe you'll end up with your head on the floor. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. All right, everybody. If your hands are not on your knees, go ahead and place them there now. Pull your belly in. And I want you to push your hands into your legs to help you come all the way back up. Excellent. Heel toe your feet together. Everybody shift your weight to your left hip and just slide your right hip back. Yep. So now you're going to sit down. It's going to feel kind of cockeyed, right? Your left knee is way ahead of your right knee. Now, can you feel how the trunk automatically starts to rotate? You're initiating your twist with your pelvis, right? You're pulling that right thigh bone back and then just turn to your right. You can place the back of your left hand on your outer knee. You can put your right hand on the chair behind you. Sit up tall though. Remember, don't do tech neck here. You want to keep the crown of your head reaching to the ceiling. And then everybody, can you take a big breath in and lift your ribs up? Yes. Feel how lifting your ribs up gives you a little more length and support to twist. Good. And then come back to face the screen and go ahead, slide your right thigh bone forward again. And let's try the other side. So you're going to shift your weight over to your right hip. Just slide your left hip and thigh bone back. Yep. And feel how that begins to rotate the whole spine. Put your left hand on the chair behind you, the back of your right hand on your outer left knee, and sit up tall. Let your sternum lift. Let your head reach skyward like it's a little hot air balloon floating up on its tether. And then can your ribs go along for the ride? Beautiful. Don't forget to breathe. And then come back to center and slide that leg forward. Very good. All right. Let's pick up the right knee. So when you pick up the right knee, try not to lean back. Try to stay nice and tall. So really good hip flexor strength, right? And then lower. And then pick up your left knee. Good. Try not to lean back. And lower. Pick up your right foot again. So make circles. Can you make 3 nice big circles with your right leg? Don't scribble. And then go 3 in the opposite direction. Don't scribble and don't hold your breath. Excellent. And then put it down. So really important muscle group. They're part of our core technically. They bring the legs toward the chest, right? Pick up the left knee. Nice. Make your circles. And you might notice this side feels easier. Maybe it's more challenging. Maybe the circles are sloppier. Just notice what you notice. Go the other way if you haven't already. Whew. And put your foot back down. Excellent. All right. Now go ahead and straighten that right leg. See if you can lift it just a little bit, but don't lean back. So now you maybe feel more in the quads. Go ahead and bend the knee, but don't put the foot down. Flex the foot strongly. And then straighten your leg and point. And then bend the knee and flex the foot. 2 more times. Straighten the leg and point your toes. Bend the knee and flex the foot. Last one. Point, point, point. Oh. And then bend the knee, flex the foot, and stamp it down. Excellent. Let's try the other side. Sit up tall. Straighten that left leg. Good. And you can feel what's working, right? Just supporting the weight of your own leg is weight bearing. Bend the knee, flex the foot. Stating the obvious, I guess. Point your leg or straighten your leg and point your toes. Bend your knee and flex. Straighten and point. So you want to move with fluidity. You want to move smoothly, with control. Quite effective. Last time, straighten and point. Whew. Bend the knee and flex. And then set the foot down. Very good. All right. For this next one, we've done it many times together. You're going to just open and close that right knee like a butterfly wing. So pay attention to what's happening on the left side. Do they kind of want to work together? Don't let it. Hold that left leg super still as you open and close that right side. If you've had a hip replacement and you know you can't bring the ankle to the knee, stay here. Really nice, replenishing synovial fluid, increasing some circulation around that right hip. Feels really nice. Those of you who want to go further can hook that right ankle over the left knee. Good. So I don't have any blocks handy, but if this is a really challenging one for you, you can always put your outer edge of your foot, pretend I have a little footstool here, and kind of relax the foot there. That'll give you the same sort of action. Nice. So I can't tell where people are at. You don't want to force the knee down, and you don't want to sickle the ankles. Can you all see my foot? See how my sole of my foot is pointing up? Not good. Push the ball of the foot away from the knee like I'm standing on it, right? The angle doesn't change. I find that when people get into this stretch, which is designed to target the external rotators of the hip, the piriformis, the ankle gets involved. And you don't want that because it makes the knee vulnerable. All right, I talked my way through that pose as usual. Go ahead, put the foot down. Let's switch sides. I shouldn't make my poor jokes because we are recording this. I'll try to stop. Just open and close that left leg. Does that right one move? Can you isolate it just on that one side? Yeah. And then remember, you can stay here, or if you like, hook your left ankle over your right knee. And you can see on me, this side's a little tighter, the knee's higher in the air. That's okay. I'm not going to force it down with my hand. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to make sure my foot's in good alignment. Yeah. And you know, when we let go of the expectation that we need to somehow be different or more, things have a way of taking care of themselves. That knee is starting to settle just by relaxing into the pose. Mm. Good. And then please put that left foot down next to your right. And sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. Feel the breath as it moves in and out of your nose. Maybe think for a moment about what it is you're grateful for today. Mm. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Namaste. All right. I didn't stop the recording.